My name is Chad Canfield. I'm a financial advisor for SunTrust. I'm 34 years old, and this past year, 2016, was pretty crazy for me. I actually got diagnosed with AML, which is acute myeloid leukemia, in April of, it was 13th, and I got that call at 10:30 in the morning. And it was one of those things that how I found out was pretty astonishing. The fact was that I had a concerned mom. I had a sore throat, and she told me to go to the doctors. I didn't think I needed to, and then finally I decided it was time, and she actually made the appointment. So Monday I actually had a endoscopy done, and they did some biopsies, and I'm a big baby when it comes to needles. So I asked the doctor, I said, can you do all my blood work while I'm under? And he said, sure, no problem, Chad. So they called me back 2 days later, the nurse did. She said, all your biopsies came back fine, but you have acute myeloid leukemia and you need to get to the ER now. I was so strong in my faith, I still am, but had some things prior to that go on, and it really made me, my relationship with God got much closer. And I wasn't even scared. People say, "Oh, that's crazy," and I wasn't, because I know where I'm going. I know where I was going then, and I knew it was God's plan. So I was actually in my office at 10:30 in the morning when I got that call, and I just actually got on my knees and prayed to God. And I said, I don't understand, that the path that you've chosen for me, but I know it's your will, and I said my faith will not waver. Started the chemo 3 days after I got admitted in, and was on chemo for 72 hours straight, a very strong dose, and it went through that well, and I was in the hospital for about 35 days. I'll never forget it. The doctor, one of the doctors that was there, was chasing me down the hallway at the end when I was hopefully to get out. And he had his laptop with him, and he's like, Chad, look. He's like, you're in remission, man. There's no more cancer. So I was so excited, and I got to go home a couple days after that. And then I had 8 consolidation rounds. So I had 8 months of chemo after that. But I knew in my heart that it was something weird. Even when I was in the hospital, even if I knew I was going to be in remission, I knew, and the one doctor said that stem cell transplant would be the best way for you to really, beat this thing for good. And I just knew something just kept pushing me that no matter what happened, I was going to get that. And so I made my decision up, and had a consultation at MD Anderson with one of the doctors, actually one of the best leukemia specialists in the world there. And he said, Chad, I feel strongly that we'll have a 70 to 80% chance that we'll beat it the first time around. And he said, I think we'll do it, because the opposite side of the spectrum was that if I didn't do anything, I had an aggressive leukemia gene that there was a 60% chance that it would come back within 5 years. So I was like, I'm 33 at the time. I was like, I just can't live life a coin flip every year that it's going to come back. So I just said, you know what, this is the way to go. It was a very, obviously the mortality rate was much higher going this method, but I just felt, at the end of the day, I said, this is God's will. Got there, it's October actually 28th. I got admitted into the hospital there. Started another really strong round of chemo, because they had to do that to kill all of your stem cells, and they basically almost borderline kill you. There's nothing else stem cell wise that's left, and they take another bone marrow to make sure that, and then they infuse with a donor, which was a blessing. It took 3.5 months for me to find my donor. Usually they're happy if they get a 6 or 7 match out of 10 match, and I had a perfect 10 out of 10 match. Family is incredible. I have the most supportive family that I could ever ask for in this whole entire world. I've been blessed beyond belief. Without them, there's no way I could have made it. I couldn't even strengthen faith without my family. They mean the world to me. So that personally was what has gotten me through it, and mentoring somebody else would be faith, and I would pray that they would have a supportive family, friends, or some type of community that would be able to help them on the way through. The biggest thing for me was my faith. Without a doubt. There's just no way. I know me personally, if I rewind my life back 5-6 years ago, I couldn't imagine tackling this thing without my faith in God, and knowing that just that peace of mind that no matter what happens, it was God's will.